From brutal blood feuds to drug disputes, these are 7 times rappers mess with the wrong cartels. Mr. Yossi Locote. Mr. Yossi Locote made it in the hip-hop world because of his undying authenticity. His music was all about his upbringing life on the streets. Unfortunately for him, that street life caught up to him in the form of the CJNG cartel. Because on April 19, 2018, Mr. Yossi's body was found dumped in an empty lot with a note attached to his chest. He was executed as a result of a gang war between Florence 13, which was his gang, and the CJNG. Lefty SM. Lefty SM was one of the most successful rappers ever to come out of Mexico until he was brutally murdered inside his home on September 2nd, 2023. The official report is that his death was the result of a robbery gone wrong. However, his wife believes that his killing was pre-planned by one of Lefty's rivals and carried out by the CJNG. 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is one of the most controversial people alive, so it's probably no surprise that cartels from his father's home country of Puerto Rico have issues with him. But while many people have very legitimate reasons to dislike 6ix9ine, his feud with the cartels stems from him picking Mexico over Puerto Rico in an international baseball game. 6ix9ine had concerts scheduled in Puerto Rico a few months after the game, and many cartels warned that if he entered Puerto Rico, he wouldn't make it out alive. QBA. While many rappers fear the cartel, QBA was different. Instead, he worked for them and was paid 3,000 pesos a week. Eventually, it caught up to him when in April of 2018, he was arrested and charged with the murder of 3 people. The 3 victims were handed off to QBA by members of the CJNG cartel, and then he proceeded to dissolve them in acid. He admitted it wasn't the first time he had killed for the cartel and is currently serving life in prison. Peso Pluma. Although Peso Pluma grew up surrounded by cartels and violence, he made it his goal to never partake, and for the most part, he succeeded as he managed to become one of the biggest international stars for Mexico ever. However, he was very close to losing everything after he wrote about El Chapo in one of his songs. Members of the cartel that rivals Chapo's, the CJNG, threatened Pluma's life with signs all around Tijuana when he had a show scheduled there. They claimed that Pluma's tongue would get him killed since he spoke highly about their rival. Pluma ended up canceling the concert. Chameleon. Chameleon didn't do anything but take a vacation, and that somehow ended up with her dangerously close to having her life taken away. While she was visiting Mexico, she was stopped and extorted by members of a local cartel. The armed men threatened Chameleon and those with her, claiming that if they didn't give them everything they had, they would disappear. Chameleon and company ended up giving the men almost all of their valuables, besides some she managed to hide when the men weren't paying attention. Chileno Sanchez. Chileno Sanchez spent a large part of his music career writing anti-cartel music and trying to spread a positive message, and it was obvious that the cartels hated him for it, because one night, during a live performance, he received a note from the cartel to enjoy his final moments. He was killed later that night.